We gotta
say that when we're
fade
streaming
to.
for crying out loud.
We have to
No,
fade to.
stop it! For crying out loud, we're streaming. Jesus.
Reversal.
That's
Exactly,
bad.
that's bad.
All right, important safety. Thanks. Hi, Bob.
Are they still doing that show?
Yeah.
Really? Because I had heard, and I thought justifiably so, that this thing was long gone. I mean, I liked it for a minute. You've heard the expression hot minute? It was more of a lukewarm minute.
C'est le Lounge Show avec Rob Scott et Bob Doyle, deux diffuseurs vétérans qui aiment s'entendre parler et
What
qui
is that you're
réussissent d'une manière
saying?
ou d'une autre à se supporter. Voyons si vous pouvez les supporter aussi bien. Voici Rob et Bob.
Yeah. It's lounge show time.
I
Lounge show's
would
open.
love it if just one French-speaking audience member
Yeah.
would just
Imagine.
acknowledge our opening. You know, does it make sense? Who knows?
Right.
Who knows? Well, the
I
chat is
thought we
ready
ran
to.
that through some. I thought we ran that by someone in compliance or continuity. Didn't we run that material by someone?
Yes,
back there?
yes, Julia. But I found out she was a fake. She
Oh.
doesn't speak French at all.
She conned her way in.
She just wanted the access to the vending machine. That's it.
It's 9 o'clock on a Saturday.
And you
Man.
all know what that means.
And he doesn't like.
We've got
musicals.
Rob over there and me with my hair, and I am not wearing blue jeans. And
Well,
I
that
hate
wasn't
musicals.
actually. That didn't suck.
Hey, man.
It's 9 o'clock on a Saturday.
Can you do it again?
I could do it all day, but I choose not to.
I choose not to. So
I
the lounge is open. He's
choose
Bob.
not-
I'm Rob.
And I'm
And
Bob.
you're in Vegas.
I sure am. And to prove it, we've got these graphics.
Yeah, we do. It cost a lot of money.
A pretty penny. We had an ugly penny and a pretty penny, and I said, "Which one do you want?" And they looked at me like, "Are you freaking kidding me with that?" And I gave them the pretty penny, of course.
I had a conversation with a higher up
Ooh,
not
that
too many
seems
days ago. No,
painful.
it was about when you were just saying pretty penny. And then it made me think of what is it called? Etymology, right? Entomology is bugs, but etymology is like this derivation of phrases and words and stuff.
Words, etc. Ooh.
And I had a count, and he thought that was really interesting, or maybe he was just being nice, which is altogether possible. But I told like the whole 9 yards or rule of thumb, these types of phrases,
Yes.
and we talked about that. And I was just thinking that when you brought up,
Wait,
oh,
who
wrapped
did
in
you talk to this
Wisconsin's
about?
beautiful. My CEO of the company that I work
Oh,
for. I had this
higher up, a
conversation.
higher up, a
A
higher up.
higher up, yeah, a higher up.
So
A
you were having
C-suite.
another old man conversation, just
much,
solidifying
yeah.
again that you
That I
are
am old?
ancient.
And I felt it this week, Bob, because as you know, I had to do some MC work this past week.
That's right. I did. I
Yeah.
did forget about that, of course, but I'd love to hear
course you
all
did.
about it. Starting
No,
right.
I don't. No, I'm just going to tell you this
Now.
about age: is that when you start at 7:30 in the morning, that's when you get to the war room, and you're still MCing at like 5:15 in the afternoon.
Ugh.
That, for my old man brain, tuckered me out.
No, I would
'Cause
have
you gotta
needed a
stay up.
solid nap in there somewhere.
Well,
My
things kept
eyelids would have gotten
changing.
really heavy around 1:30, probably.
We had been planning it for a while, but they had to do a pivot because of the weather in Atlanta. So the whole thing was on just a turn of a dime, and everything changed. And instead of like, half a Wednesday, all day Thursday, half a Friday, Thursday was going to be cut off. We're pushing them back on planes, which means the event team is in charge of like 200
Oh my
different
God.
flights. It was really
Oh
something to watch.
no! What a
Yes.
nightmare!
And they crushed it. To watch these people work really is extra. And I kept thinking, I wonder what the Oscars are like then, like running one of those kinds of shows. because this was a big show, multimedia show. Then you've got all the engineering guys and all the the IT guys and doing their thing.
Yeah.
And it really was something. But boy, I'll tell you. And then the weather was rolling in, and so I wanted to get out of Buckhead. So Thursday night it was done like at 6:00, and in my little car, and I had forgotten what PM rush hour out of the city is like because I don't do
and
that
you
drive
just
anymore.
never want to have that other thing happen.
Yeah, man. And so I'm leaving Buckhead. You know the city. I'm leaving there, and it's about 5:45-ish p.m. and it's starting to get dark, and just 285 across the top end, and bleh. And I got home and I was toast. Because you had done the whole day, and then an hour and a half drive for kicks on the end of the day, just crawling along.
Ugh.
But anyway, the reason I bring all that up is because you said old man conversations.
Okay.
And yes, I felt old I go, wow, that just zapped me. I have no more energy. My brain is done. Like, wow. Really, it was like, and I thought, I bet you I would have had more energy when I was 30, but maybe I wouldn't have been as good at doing the performing part because you get a little more.
Well, you
seasoned
just would have used different words and had a different energy about you, but you would have still jumped up there and been fine, I'm sure.
Well,
But
yeah,
30 years less experience or whatever. I'm sorry,
Right.
40, no, 30.
No. You
Well, 30
you
and
always
some
play
change.
that game about how you're so much younger, but really, it's like really on the timeline of life, it's a speck.
Oh, well, our whole lives are a speck, Rob. Come on.
Well,
But
I realize that, but
I already know what's, I made fun of you about your vision back when you were starting Readers, and then that got me. I was like, oh, okay, well, that's some freaking karma. So I already know, I'm calling you old, etc. I'm 59. That's not young. That's not that young. But
no, more in the rearview mirror than the windshield.
But you've got the
big
Beatles birthday this year, don't you?
Yes, I do.
Yes.
I do. I never gave that any thought until you just mentioned that, but yes, I do. The only thing that I find interesting about that now is that movie Yesterday.
Yeah, I still haven't seen that.
Oh, you'll love it. You
I
should
know.
watch that.
Yeah,
That's
okay.
Anyway. There's a reference to that song in that movie, and so no one knows who the Beatles are. And so someone says, "Oh, like when
Yeah.
I'm 64," and they go, "That's arbitrary. Why would you have picked 64? That's such an odd number. Where did that come from?" Like.
Right. I think that's
We are-
on the trailer. I think even that part,
Is it?
or something like that? Yeah.
Okay. Well, I just think it's interesting that lyrics from songs can become part of the lexicon.
Oh, sure they can. Oh no, Jemus.
Did I lock up?
Yes.
Okay, so here's something I brought. I brought toys. I brought.
Oh, good. Yes. Show
yeah,
and tell.
I brought show and tell. Let's see if I can do this correctly.
Oh, okay.
So we will push this button and this button and let's see, this button and this button, and we should be.
All right.
having
Yeah.
video.
There you go. Catherine sent me some pictures with the boys, snowmen, and all that stuff. Unbelievable what you guys got.
Yeah, it was really pretty. And that was worth waking up after that whole ordeal, right? 2 days downtown. We'd been planning this thing for, a couple of months, and everything changed on a dime. And then
Right.
you do it, and you get home after the weather, and then the next morning I get this out my front door, and I'm going, that is worth the price of admission. Just a pretty day.
Yeah.
And then Sam came over with the dog and Kale, and we threw the tennis ball with the dog in the snow, and it was just a delightful day, Bob.
And all
There's
was
lag
right
on
with
the
the
video.
world.
It really is all is right with the world. You're right. That's exactly how that turned out. All was right. And I like, me, I like snow. As long as you plan not to drive in it, or you don't have to drive in it. Like today I went out, it was fine already. But boy, it sure was pretty yesterday to have all 2, 3, 4 inches.
Yeah, that was impressive. We've had snow here more years than we have not in Vegas.
I didn't know that. I had no idea.
But it's nothing like Atlanta. But we do get a blanket and then it's gone. We'll get a day. Not like Atlanta, we get a day. But snowballs and little tiny snowmen and lots of people doing live streams. It's snowing in Vegas. I've got mine out there.
Did you do one
The
during the
first
snow?
year?
at
Oh,
one time?
yes, I did.
Sure.
Yeah.
Did you kind of have the
I'm
whole?
sure I've done at
The
least.
whole ah,
I'm sure I've done at least 2 or 3 "It's Snowing in Vegas" videos for sure.
good for you. Good for and two reasons that's good. Good that you did it, and good that you tell it on yourself too. Oh yeah, I went out there. I did that. That snow thing.
Well, I mean,
I was the only one. I was the only one. I was. It was breaking news by the time they got a hold of my feed.
That's right. I did
I
the.
have. No, go.
No, you go. No, you go. No, you go.
So you used to do that though more often, I think, as I recall.
Oh my
streaming
God!
stuff.
Oh, all the time, and now it's been. This is all I have streamed live in years. I mean,
Well, I'm honored.
I think maybe a year and a half ago or something, Tracy and I tried to do. We did it under a tree or whatever. We'd love to be able to do that again. We talk about it, and we just don't do it. I don't know. I'm just
Well,
I'm
you know
just so
what? You'll get
busy with
around-
my YouTube worry.
Right. Your life is, but you know what'll happen? It'll return, and then you and Tracy will do it in a different, neater way, and it'll be really sharp. I will consume those. I bet I'll consume the second season. You know, the part 2 of this trilogy of
Under another tree.
streaming iterations. Yes, under
Yeah.
oh, look at that!
Yeah.
Under another tree. I like that. That's good marketing.
Yeah, and we have trees in our yard and everything. We could do it. Like you used to have to go to the
You are
park.
beautiful. No, but your backyard is beautiful. You
I
have
know,
tons
and
of
we
trees
and
out.
we have not done it. There's traffic noise. That's one thing. It is. I mean, it
Well,
does
maybe you
show
do
up.
them at midnight with good lighting, and that's part of the bit.
Well, the bit would be watching me sleep at midnight.
Okay, or
It would
there's
be
that.
the under a slumber tree. Holy moly, it's getting cool down here. It's 53 degrees right now here in Henderson. We got a low expected around 34 degrees. There was some English in that last sentence, and words is also going to be considered a word right now. And that's what we're
31
looking at
degrees
for the
and mostly
entire... Oh, sorry. I was just going to wrap it up by saying that's pretty much what we're looking at all this week. Rob, how about you?
Hairdo.
Hey,
I'll have you know hair.
I hope I remember that for next time. How about you, hairdo?
31. 31 and mostly clear. After we had the mini Christmas fun here in the Atlanta area, we had snow, so that was always. And yes, then you go online, and 50 people, let's say on Facebook, will say, "Look, we built a snowman," or "Look, we went." There was some sledding I noticed though in Piedmont Park. And I was impressed by the fact that people even gave that a whirl, and they had a couple of guys even on skis at Piedmont Park that I saw.
Get out. Well, that's
Now,
a
how
little
long
crazy.
you can't stay? I mean, that's a lot of lugging and toting of equipment just to go down a 50, 100-yard little slope.
I can't even imagine where they're doing that in Piedmont Park, but whatever.
Well, and they
I've
built a
only
little.
been there a few times.
You're going to run that thing about 4 times, and then you'll be down to the dirt. You know, they're going to. It's not like a real.
Oh,
ski resort. It's-
right, exactly.
gonna
We had
get
to
like
install a
4
ski
runs.
lift to accommodate all the
That's right.
people. They
tow
couldn't keep
rope.
trudging up that snow. It was 6 feet deep.
Yeah. So anyway, so we had snow, and that was one thing I had on my list here, and I said, and I was tired from doing MC work. I was really tired, man. It was like 8 hours. The things kept changing. You've done these types of things, and so it can kind of, at least for me, if I do any kind of public speaking, it takes twice the energy than to just be speaking, let's say at a cocktail party or something. There's a little more energy that's
we could talk about this forever. There's nothing more draining to me than doing that kind of a thing and just like basically being on for whatever the amount of time is and giving it everything you got, like being there 100%. And then at the end, it's like, and that's it for me. I don't know how to reserve energy for talking to people afterward, and I'm not good at that at all. It's like, and in my position when I was speaking, that was almost always the case, is like, if I go
had to
do
do
a
the
thing,
after.
then I got to talk or maybe photos,
yeah,
and it
the
was
after, man. The after, I'll tell you, that's to my advantage on my gig. I went to every principal decision maker after I was done with my last, and I said goodnight and thank you on behalf of the company. Blah, 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 blah. And then I went to each one of them. Are we good? Do you need anything from me? Do you need anything?
Right.
I'm gone. Like
Total,
I was down to check
closure,
out of
right.
that hotel. Went to check out from the hotel. I couldn't check out of the hotel quick enough. But I wanted to have done my job well, and I think I did. But to your point, there's a lot of other people they would rather chat at anyway. You want to talk with the MC? I didn't, there were really important people for the to talk with, and the snow was coming, and I just wanted to. But
Oh
yes,
my God, yes.
But to your point, see, you're the speaker. They want to then talk. I wasn't. I'm the moderator, not the speaker. So they're
Right.
going to want to talk to you after you get off stage.
That's right. You're not. Even though you do a shite ton of work, like you do as much work, if not more, than the freaking any given speaker. The MC,
Right, because a lot of them can bring their package with them. It's already been done. It's been run. They know it. They've got it down pat.
right, and they've got their hour and a half or whatever, and you've got 8 hours. And I remember I did that in London not that long, well, like 3 years ago or whatever. I can't remember what it was. I guess it was right before COVID or something. I can't remember. But Tracy and I went to London, and I emceed a thing for 3 days, and I never emceed like that before. And but it was like with you, it was like real simple. Just bring them on, bring them off, keep them going in the middle. But I didn't have to like keep the crowd happy. I didn't have to do all that stuff.
No, but I wanted to have a little something. On occasion, I wanted to have something.
I didn't care about that at all. I didn't care about that at all.
We had one speaker who owns multi companies. He's a great coach. He's 77 years old. He's 35 million books published. He's just one of these monster
he's
organizational.
A monster? Did you call the authorities?
Very, very successful businessman. He's monster big. He's one of his things was what's the monster? He's one of these things. One of his goals in life, he had said, was to go to every presidential library. I thought, so he says, I've been to all of them, many of them more than once, some of them even with a president. And I thought, okay, how many people can say that sentence out loud? Not only have they been to all the presidential
libraries. Well, first of all, you just said it, so that's at least 2.
That's hearsay. I was just quoting him. But the point is,
that wasn't what you said. You said, how many people can say that sentence out loud? And you just did it.
Okay. You did that, and did you call the police? This story's never going to get over without Bob doing comic strip commentary, but okay.
Comic strip commentary. All right. I don't know what that means, but I'm just
So
going
when
to
he
make
was
it.
done speaking, I stood up and I said, Mr. Maxwell, just a side note, I've been casting and writing and producing radio commercials for almost 30 years. If this little mini business venture thing of yours doesn't take off, we've got to, because he had this great voice. I go, we got a place for you in our radio department here at the company. That kind of stuff I like to do. That, he's so successful, it's ridiculous. He's traveled the world and coached the biggest people in the world, politicians and
The
movie
biggest
stars and the whole
people,
thing.
like Guinness Book of World Records, like those guys on the motorcycle.
Comic strip commentary, boys and girls.
I don't know what that means, but we're going to go with it.
Yes, we are going to go with it because you do know what it means. It's like Nancy or Sluggo. It's that kind of dialogue. It's a
Family
monster.
circus. Family circus. The worst.
Beetle Bailey.
Yeah. But
if they were in color on Sunday,
Nancy and Family Circus they just made me mad. They're taking up space, and they're not even. The humor in Family Circus was just insulting. Thank you, Bill Keane.
the humor in
It
Family
was.
Circus was just insulting.
It was.
Yeah, I don't recall. I recall.
Maybe there was a time when it was good, but man, near the end. And near the end meaning the last 5 years.
They were jumping sharks. Family Circus was jumping sharks.
Were
Here's
they?
the
I
thing.
don't even remember.
No, I don't recall either, but you said toward the end, so I
Right. Well, right
toward
when all the
end,
kids
'cause
jumped
I
over.
followed.
Yeah.
Right. On Sunday, I really looked forward to the comics being, first of all, a larger section and in color. It was a big deal.
Yes, me too,
and
for
so
sure.
I would work you work the whole library, except for Peyton Place or whatever the soap opera one was. I didn't care about that.
Yeah, Brenda Starr I didn't do.
But the point is, I would wind up with Family. Okay, I'll read Family Circus. It's here. Okay, it was like last, right after Nancy, and Nancy kind of sucked too. So anyway, but then you'd get to Family Circus and go, "Wow, Bob's right." But I didn't know you.
But what about
Bob's-
Blondie? We read Blondie.
Dagwood, I think. Was her
Blondie
husband's
and Dagwood, yes, of course.
Yeah,
I had several. I had
I'm-
Blondie books actually.
So, but when you read, did you read comic books as a kid? I'm sure you did.
Not much. I had a few. Like I went. Like I liked. Like literally, I didn't have any particular series. I had a few editions of things that I liked, like a Fantastic Four that I liked. I had this oversized Captain America thing that I liked, a couple of Spider-Man thing, and then of course when the Star Wars came, they put out their first little run of comics, and I grabbed those. But I wasn't a big comic book person, really.
I did a lot of Archie. So I did a lot of comic books.
I was into the
Archie.
Peanuts. I was in Charlie Brown, and I had the books. I buy the books, but comic books I didn't do.
But I bought a lot of comics because I didn't read. I've never read. So comic books were just my
That's
speed.
right,
A
ladies
lot
and
of
gentlemen.
pictures.
He's never, even to this day, how has he gotten as far as he has? That's the miracle of Rob.
One book, cover to cover. That's not true. I did Jonathan Livingston Seagull, so that's 2. But I did Johnny Tremaine when I was in
So they
7th
both
grade.
had the word John in them.
I just realized that now. I must be a bathroom thing. I have no idea. The whole thing is, it was, yes, Jonathan Livingston Seagull, but that was almost like a pamphlet. That thing
Yes,
was so
compared.
small.
Yes, you're right.
But I read Johnny Tremaine in 7th grade.
I don't know what that is.
It was a kid, and this takes place around the Revolutionary War. He gets burned by silver in Paul Revere's silver shop. It's that kind of stuff. And I read that book. But other than those 2, every 3rd page, blah, 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 like if I had to get, do a report or something for college or whatever, but never. But I'll read the paper or, I'll read articles all day long. I don't know, the whole idea of fiction. And I know I'm ripping myself off. I get it. I know it.
I don't have any strong feelings about it. I'm not much of a reader either.
You've read a lot more books than I have.
I've read a lot more books than you, but I'm not. But it's not something that I actively seek out. Books are. I don't have the patience. I'll do audiobooks more than read now.
Okay.
I can't sit down and do that.
But I mean, you've read a lot of books for your line of work too.
Yeah.
Different
Yes,
areas
but
that
not
you
as many
pursue.
as people would think I would, because quite frankly, they're not that interesting, and everybody's saying the same damn thing.
Quite frankly,
Seriously, I'm so
Quite
glad to be out of
frankly.
that industry. I can't even tell you. Our dinner got
no. Now
here
you just get
early.
to paint, man. You're like a painter. You're like Van Gogh.
That's right. I just
Without all the mental
I feel
problems,
more
without-
like who's the guy who throws the paint up against the wall?
Pollock.
Pollock. Yeah, that's what I feel more like
Jackson
with my.
Pollock.
Yeah,
Now, see, look at that. I knew Pollock, and I've never read. I don't know how I know that crap. I
because
know
his
why.
movies. The only reason I know him
Movies.
too is I certainly didn't read about
Right.
him in a book. What's his name was in the movie.
Right.
There's a good movie. Ed.
Yes. Harris.
Thank you.
Ed.
Yeah, something like that.
And then you wave your hand in the air. Yes, Ed Harris, who was also in the HBO's Westworld, and he was in Appaloosa. He was in Apollo 13.
Yes, he certainly was. He was a key player in that
He
film.
was. He was a biggie. Do you know who directed that movie?
Ron Howard.
Okay, very good. So just seeing if the new meds are working. Just checking it out, man. Just making sure the noggin, the old noodle. And then I went to bed last night. Speaking of old man tired, went to bed last night at like 11.
Old
and I
man
go,
tired. He just got fired. He won't be working. He'll just be twerking. All right, go ahead, please. Tell me more about your.
What are we going to do, Bob?
Good thing
Well,
we're in
we're
a bowling
safe
alley.
for now. Thank goodness we're in a bowling alley.
singing from Porgy and Bess, which is great.
You
I
is
forget
my
where I
woman
was.
now.
Oh, I know. I went to bed at 11 o'clock, and I said, don't set the alarm, but we'll pop up. And I opened my eyes at like 7, but then I closed them again, and it was like 9. Like I slept for 10 hours. I can't remember the last time that's how exhausted I think my body just went, nope. Hotel living, hotel eating, they keep bringing these buffets. You just slam some food. You're doing it's just like
I hate
nonstop.
it. Just even you talking about it, I get right in my body in those situations.
But buddy, I got to tell you, it was fun.
Have a
like,
drink.
In retrospect, Well, yes, have a drink. I must say,
I must say.
while
I must
well,
say.
I must
I must say.
must
What's that?
say,
How does he do that? I must say. Is it
who's
Ed Grimley who says I must say?
yes, yeah, I
Yeah.
must say Pat Sajak. I must say, right? Wasn't he really into Pat Sajak?
He
I think his
probably was.
character.
I don't know.
I
Boy,
must
we
say.
are animal housing
Anyway,
ourselves all over the place.
we are all over the place, I must say. But yes, you were saying it was stressful for me to tell the story. But the point is, it went on without a hitch. Things still went well, and then you can be somewhat, like this has been the best weekend I've had, and I can't tell you how long. The holidays and then
Oh,
this and
you can
ramping
tell
up.
me we've known each other 30 years. Comic strip humor.
Comic strip commentary. You have to
Commentary.
keep the alliteration. You have to keep
Sorry.
the alliteration.
All right.
Okay. But you know what's
comic-
really been good about tonight's show? No one consumed it at all. I think this truly
That's
was
right.
a phone
Not
call.
one person. It was
You know
streaming,
why?
but
Because
it was streaming directly to you, and that's it.
and that's it. It was really, but I'll tell you one cool. It wasn't cool, but interesting. So then I met Coach K because he was one of our speakers.
Yeah.
Coach K was there speaking, and he wanted. They asked, so they said, Coach K wants to see you. Like I've never. And I went back there, yes, and he goes. He wanted to talk about the fact that he goes, I don't know, I might end up at 53, I might end up at 47, I don't know, and just be on the ready to ask me a quick question to fill out the out. And I go, okay, like I didn't know I was supposed to do that. That's what I mean when things are just,
Yeah, I
And
know.
so I went, okay. And I go, okay, and one of the people asked him, said, well, don't you take Q&A? And he goes, I'll do it. He says, but usually some guy raises his hand about a game in 2011 where his team beat Duke, and nobody in the audience gives a crap. He says, so a lot of times the questions. So I had a question prepared that would apply more to the audience than we beat you guys in 2011. But I didn't have to use it. He hit like 58-30, kind of gave me a wink, and off the stage he went. It was like, that's a pro. But it was interesting. It was a lot of fun. But yes, to your point, I was exhausted.
Everything you just described makes me want to take a long nap. And I don't. What? That's exactly how my brain feels listening to
That's
that.
what I need a nap.
That is one of the funniest little pieces. Forgot about that. Oh man, did I hear a song? I heard something today that was such a freaking Vegas ending. I don't even know what it was, but man, it stopped and then it started again, big time with the whole.
I am so glad we came up with that one. That's one of my favorites. That is one of my favorite Bob and Rob's.
Is that a coin? Is that a phrase we coined?
Yes, I believe so.
Oh wow,
that's us, all us. Yes, that
yeah,
is so us.
but God, and that means it's like 1 out of 100 people would laugh at that.
Oh yeah, that's a droids, which is also one of ours.
Well, but droids we can't even because we don't even know what the hell we were talking about.
No, we
Vegas
don't.
ending we know, and we will always know.
It has right. It has. If you've looked it up, Vegas ending, we would have had a description of what it is. Droids, we would have never been able to do a description of that.
Man, if I could just have a chance to listen to the origin of droids and listen to what we thought was so damn funny that
I do remember. But what's that show? Science Fiction Theater 2000, whatever,
Mystery
something
Science
like that. Where
Theater.
there's
Yeah.
That's what was on that morning when we woke up and started riffing and spiffing, hungover, and so everything was funny to us. And then we had the story that we thought was so funny that we decided to go tell the kids at the Chinese restaurant.
Right. Okay, but you don't remember the droids though. But it was inspired or something. Mystery Science 3000 was a seed in this.
Right.
Okay. Well,
I think
that tells me a little something.
That's
I would love for that to
100%
unfold.
of all I have.
Wow,
That's
well,
about- that's it. That's all
way
I got
more
on
than
it.
I remember. That's way more than I remember. But that's kind of cool. That's kind of a key.
But we didn't have the sound up. But see, all of this could be invented in my twisted,
Yeah, it's
effed up
true.
brain.
It's true. It's true. It's true.
But that's what I remember, and there's Mystery Science Theater, and I never watched that show, so I think you had decided to have it on or stopped
It's
at the
Mystery
remote control
Science
room.
Theater Under the Sea Dance with Ed Painterly, right?
And Mahoney hurt his knee.
Right, at the TikTok shop.
That's exactly right. Yes. So look, we managed to stumble right into quitting time again.
I know
Another
this
Saturday
happened
here in
last
Atlanta.
time. I can't believe like last time was a sneeze. I couldn't even. And now I did notice when it was 6:16, but that was like a second ago. So I don't know what the hell the past couple of weeks. These things are just zip.
Well, it's just like life, Bob. It's like a roll of toilet paper.
And with those words, Rob Stark and Bob Doyle brought the Lounge Show to another inauspicious close. Join us next week, won't you? 6 p.m. Pacific, 9 p.m. Eastern, for another edition of the Lounge Show.